Imagine 5,000 elite Roman soldiers marching into the Scottish wilderness and never coming back. Not defeated in glorious battle, not captured for ransom, but completely erased from existence as if they never existed at all. For 2,000 years, the fate of Rome's legendary Ninth Legion remained history's greatest military mystery. Until 2025, when a simple drone flight over the Scottish Highlands accidentally uncovered evidence so shocking that it forced historians to rewrite everything they thought they knew about the Roman Empire. The vanishing of Rome's elite. The Ninth Legion wasn't just another Roman military unit. These were battle-hardened veterans who had served for over 2 centuries, fighting alongside Julius Caesar during the conquest of Gaul and surviving the brutal rebellion of Queen Boudica in Britain. They had earned their stripes in Spain, crushed Germanic tribes along the Rhine, and helped build the mighty Roman Empire from the ground up. But sometime between 117 and 120 AD, something unprecedented happened. The Ninth Legion simply vanished without a trace from all Roman records. Not disbanded after defeat, not transferred to another province, but completely erased as if they had never existed. Their names disappeared from military rosters, their achievements were removed from monuments, and even the famous Hadrian's Wall, built shortly after their disappearance, contained no mention of them whatsoever. This wasn't how Rome operated. The empire meticulously documented everything, especially military units with distinguished service records. When 3 legions were destroyed in the Teutoburg Forest disaster, Rome mourned publicly, built monuments, and held investigations. But for the Ninth Legion, there was only deafening silence. The last known position. The final confirmed sighting of the Ninth Legion was at Eboracum, modern-day York, one of Rome's most important military strongholds in Britain. In 108 AD, a simple stone tablet was discovered confirming their presence there. Little did anyone know this would become the last footprint before they walked into history's darkest void. North of Eboracum lay Caledonia, a land of dense forests, treacherous bogs, and hostile tribes who had never fully submitted to Roman rule. These weren't organized armies with formal battle lines, but guerrilla fighters who specialized in ambush tactics and hit-and-run attacks. Roman patrols venturing too far north often disappeared without explanation. Most historians believe the Ninth Legion was ordered into this dangerous territory on what would become their final mission. Perhaps they were suppressing a rebellion, maybe expanding Roman control, or possibly responding to tribal raids. But here's where the mystery deepens. There are no records of them ever coming back. No battle reports, no casualty lists, no survivors integrated into other legions, and no mention in military dispatches. 5,000 trained soldiers had seemingly evaporated into thin air. Theories that never added up. For centuries, scholars proposed various explanations for the Ninth Legion's disappearance, but none could account for the complete erasure from Roman records. The most popular theory suggested they were massacred by Pictish tribes in Scotland. According to this idea, the legion was ambushed and suffered a catastrophic defeat. But this theory had major flaws. The Ninth Legion consisted of highly trained professional soldiers with superior equipment and tactics. It seemed unlikely that scattered tribal forces could achieve such a total victory without leaving any archaeological evidence of a massive battle. Another theory proposed they were secretly transferred to Judea to help crush the Second Jewish Revolt in 132 AD. The timing worked, and they could have been destroyed in that brutal conflict. However, no records place the Ninth Legion in the Middle East during this period. A third possibility was deployment to Armenia during the Parthian Wars, where Roman historian Cassius Dio mentioned an unnamed legion being completely destroyed. But again, no evidence connected the Ninth to this campaign. The simplest explanation was administrative transfer to another province, but this theory collapsed under scrutiny. Why would Rome deliberately erase such a decorated unit from all records? Why remove their honors and achievements from public monuments? This level of systematic deletion was reserved for Rome's worst enemies, not loyal legions. The breakthrough discovery. The mystery remained unsolved until 2025, when breakthrough technology finally revealed the truth. A University of Edinburgh research team was conducting routine geological surveys over the Cairngorm Mountains using advanced drone scanning equipment. They were studying ancient glacier movements and Bronze Age settlements, completely unrelated to Roman history. On their third day of scanning, the equipment detected something extraordinary beneath layers of peat, forest debris, and mineral-rich soil. Deep underground lay a massive rectangular outline that computer analysis revealed to be unmistakably Roman in design. But this wasn't just any Roman structure. The site was enormous, covering over 20 hectares and designed to accommodate nearly 5,000 men. More disturbing were the signs of emergency construction. Defensive ditches were dug unusually deep, protective walls were built hastily and irregularly, and the overall layout suggested desperate improvisation rather than standard Roman engineering. This wasn't a planned military base, it was a last stand. Evidence of systematic destruction. As archaeologists excavated the site, a horrifying picture emerged. The camp hadn't simply been overrun in a chaotic battle. Evidence pointed to systematic siege warfare conducted with surprising sophistication. Scattered throughout the southwestern section were fragments of scutum shields, shattered as if struck by tremendous force. Broken spear shafts, bent iron points, and hundreds of hobnails from Roman military sandals littered the ground. The distribution pattern suggested the legion had been completely surrounded and methodically destroyed. Weapon fragments recovered from the site bore intricate Celtic carvings and symbols tied to Druidic war cults that Rome had spent decades trying to eliminate. This wasn't just military conflict, it was religious warfare. The Highland tribes viewed this as a spiritual battle against Roman invaders who had violated sacred lands. Even more chilling was the discovery of human remains showing signs of ritual execution. Skulls were damaged in specific ceremonial patterns, and some bodies showed evidence of treatment designed to prevent the dead from entering the Roman afterlife. Celtic warriors hadn't just defeated their enemies, they had attempted to destroy their souls. The political cover-up. As researchers dug deeper into Roman political archives, a disturbing picture emerged. Secret Senate documents from 117 to 125 AD contained cryptic references to unauthorized mobilization and non-senatorial sanctioning of operations north of Eboracum. In other words, the 9th Legion may have been sent on their final mission without proper approval from Rome. Even more shocking was evidence suggesting they may have been deliberately positioned for destruction. The 9th Legion had become politically dangerous under Emperor Hadrian's new defensive policies. These were traditionalist soldiers, fiercely loyal to their commanders and possibly opposed to Hadrian's controversial decision to stop expanding the empire in favor of building defensive walls. Newly discovered Vatican archives contained sealed documents labeled with initials many experts believe refer to Emperor Hadrian himself. These files revealed intelligence reports expressing concerns about the 9th Legion's loyalty and troubling connections with local tribes. The implications were staggering. Rather than risk a potential rebellion or defection, Roman leadership may have made a calculated decision to eliminate the problem permanently. Send the politically unreliable 9th Legion into hostile territory, ensure they were isolated and outnumbered, and let the Scottish tribes accomplish what Rome couldn't do officially. The ritual execution ground. The most disturbing evidence came from a separate site northeast of Inverness, where archaeologists uncovered a mass burial ground containing over 200 Roman soldiers. Carbon dating confirmed these men had died during the same period as the 9th Legion's disappearance. These weren't battlefield casualties. The systematic arrangement of bodies and specific patterns of skull damage indicated ritual execution conducted over several days. Celtic ceremonial blades had been used with precision, and many remains showed deliberate mutilation designed to prevent proper Roman burial rites. Most shocking was the discovery of a Roman eagle standard buried upside down beneath the bodies, surrounded by blackened soil and animal remains. This sacred symbol of Roman military honor had been deliberately desecrated in a ceremony calculated to destroy not just the soldiers' lives, but their memory and spiritual power. The Highland tribes understood that in Roman culture, memory equaled immortality. By destroying bodies, weapons, and sacred symbols through ritual desecration, they were attempting to erase the 9th Legion from existence completely. Legacy of betrayal. The 2025 discoveries revealed a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of Roman government. The 9th Legion hadn't simply been defeated by barbarian tribes, they had been betrayed by their own empire, sent to die in a carefully orchestrated execution disguised as a military operation. Rome's response was equally calculated. Rather than admit such a complete defeat and betrayal, they systematically erased the 9th Legion from history. No monuments honored their sacrifice, no records acknowledged their service, and no investigations exposed the truth. The cover-up was so thorough that for 2,000 years, 5,000 Roman soldiers remained voiceless victims of imperial politics. The Highland tribes, far from being primitive barbarians, had demonstrated sophisticated military planning and psychological warfare that impressed even modern analysts. They had united against a common enemy, set a perfect trap, and achieved a victory so complete that it terrified Rome into unprecedented historical revisionism. After 2,000 years of silence, the truth about Rome's Ninth Legion has finally emerged. These weren't just soldiers who vanished in battle, they were victims of imperial betrayal, deliberately sent to die by their own government and then erased from history to hide the conspiracy. The 2025 discovery proves that even the most powerful empires aren't immune to internal corruption, and that truth, no matter how deeply buried, eventually surfaces. 5,000 betrayed soldiers have finally found their voice. What do you think about this shocking revelation? Could there be other Roman disasters still hidden from history? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed uncovering this ancient mystery, hit that like button and subscribe for more historical investigations that will blow your mind.